Welcome back to the Live to Grind podcast show. And we have another series where we're doing a spotlight on a badass entrepreneur who's been through my accelerator and is doing some cool things. We have Roxy Caballero here, who is in talent management and brand consulting. And she is like the most interesting girls out there. And I'll never forget, we met, Roxy, was at a Millennial Entrepreneur Network. Was it event? Was it Millennial Entrepreneur Network?
Yes.
Yes. We met at an event. And we kept in touch, and she ended up going through our accelerator and then just became good friends. And she's doing some really cool things. So you're going to learn from her today and just some of the things she's doing to help blow up other people's businesses. But Roxy, just start by introduce yourself, a little bit about you and more about what you do.
Thanks, Brandon. Super excited to be on your show. I listen to it so much. So it's like this has been one of my goals for a really long time, and thank you so much for the opportunity. So, you said it. My name's Roxy, and the talent management side comes from a history of modeling. I started modeling when I was 8 years old, and I took everything I knew about modeling into the business side of things when I got picked up by Paul Mitchell focused hair salons. And like from 8 years old to 21, it was all about Roxy and how she could represent your product, brand, or event. And then when I got picked up by, big honcho Paul Mitchell, it was like, that was huge. And I got to travel the world. Yeah. And channel everything that I did for myself into that company and into that brand. And working under the umbrella that is Paul Mitchell, and with all the tools and opportunities they give you, I was doing hair shows. I was running consultancies for salons. I got to meet, Jean Paul and Robert Cromines, and, these are big hairdresser rock stars in that industry. And for a person like me who doesn't even touch hair, that's pretty cool. Everybody would always ask me, what is it that keeps you doing, this side of it? And then the tool of hairdressing, when I don't even do hair, was, okay, how can I create a guest experience for somebody who's in the chair, and help these people who are behind the chair create that experience. So I was a guest, I was a model, and then I was also their key holder business runner. So I was basically pimping out hairdressers for like the last.
You're pimping out hairdressers. And now like you make businesses blow up. You explode them, make it fun. And you're just an energetic person. Like we both are energetic, and you're just so unique. I love what you do, and pimping out hairdressers. I love it. What are some of the things you're doing right now?
So currently I'm working with a couple different companies. They go from either startup to expansion, or from individual to agency. I worked with professional dancers that have gone from, street performing art to So You Think You Can Dance. And it's that particular niche that I look for, is somebody who doesn't have the recognition that they need and isn't monetizing what they're able to, do as far as their skill set goes.
Yeah.
So you're somebody who is established and maybe doesn't have as much following as you think you should, or you'd like, then you hire Roxy, right? Or if, you're completely like out of the left field, like wild card, and nobody knows who you are and you can't even see your true potential, then thankfully, because I went through your program, and before I went through your program, I did a lot of more self-development than I could have even asked for.
Yeah.
I channel that into people who have those limiting beliefs and who are, a little more nervous to get out of their comfort zone.
So what was your main reason for getting in the accelerator? Like, what was kind of going through your mind before you got into the accelerator program?
I'm so excited for you to ask me this, because there's everybody I listen to on your show has such a great story, and mine's very comparable. I mean, I didn't have a job. I was super unemployed and super broke, and had a lot of different reasons as to why I wouldn't have been able to invest in a mastermind or invest in a group of people who were, like-minded and had a common goal. I was super scared, I didn't know how I was going to pay rent. I didn't know what I was going to do with my future. I was basically at like a mental rock bottom, and physically I was faking it till I made it. I was driving Lyft. I was doing Airbnb. I mean, I was using every resource that I had living wise to make money rather than my, my talent and my skill set, which I wasn't able to realize what I was capable of doing until
Yeah.
I the people in the group. So
That's awesome. So wow. I mean, man, this is just hearing from you again. It's cool to hear how it's affected you. So what's different now?
So, I mean, well, now I don't have to drive Lyft or do Airbnb. I got my car back and I have my place of living back. That's number one, which is super exciting. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But when it's your only resource of income and you're basically you're working to live. And I'm in San Diego, so it's not that bad, but I'm working to live. Currently, I like I said, I manage talent individuals, and I'm also in the process of becoming an affiliate for like musicians who do beat instrumentals and slang beats.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Keeping my focus set on the talent and the management and the brand consulting side in an entertainment industry is definitely one of my like strongest goals. I'm still great at working with people who want to expand their business or have a new product and want me to share it, or have an event that they want people to show up at that they just don't know how to market it. So they hire me. Ideally, that's like what I'm really great at. And that's just the connection with people. Like that's the power that I have in connecting with strangers. And I have always said, like, if you're 4 or 40, we're going to be best friends. We're going to find a way to make everybody.
That's so true. Like you are the person that can talk to anyone. And I say that too. Like I said, I could talk to a brick wall. I literally could talk to a brick wall, and communication is powerful, and just being a likable person. So to summarize like one thing, and I'm going to go into the brand side of things, but to summarize one thing, what is the biggest thing you took away from the accelerator?
That was that you are who you surround yourself around, most of the time. So if you have a group of like-minded individuals who have a common goal and they're all extremely talented in that one specific industry that you know nothing about, like you need to latch on and you need to listen. And when I was in that group, that's what happened. There are people in that group that have given me opportunities that I'll share with you once we get into the the branding part. But if it weren't for that accelerator program, I wouldn't have been where I'm at now. I wouldn't have the website I have. I wouldn't have the confidence I have, and I wouldn't have the knowledge I have. And I probably wouldn't have read The Legacy of Think and Grow Rich. That book.
Yeah, I love it. Well, clearly you are the average of 5 people you hang out with. I mean, I preach this all the time. Your network is your net worth. And when you're in a group of people, and we had so much fun in that group, by the way, like the people that were in there, the collaboration, everything else was powerful. So Roxy, let's go into the brand. I have the acronym brand, and it basically covers what we talked about in the accelerator, but everything that I preach that everybody should be doing in their business. And it starts, B is for books and blogs, R is to record video, A, audio, and network. D is differentiate. So let's go into B, books and blogs or writing. What are some things you do in your business or in your life now just for writing that you can share with us?
So I probably gained the most inspiration from listening to the audible version of every book that you've recommended, or that
Me too. I always audio.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in my car traveling from like here to LA or Arizona or whatever. So I'm listening to audibles so much. On the other side of it, on the writing side of it, I'm thankful enough to have somebody on my team who does my content for me. So I'll like bullet up a couple ideas or have some sort of rant. And then I'll just send it to that person and go, hey, jazz this up. And so they'll help me write articles that, I want to apply to put in magazines such as, The Accelerant, or anytime like I did a 1-year anniversary to when I made the biggest decision of my life. And that was to quit the company I was with for 6 years.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to share that. And I didn't know if, because I don't have a podcast yet, or because I don't have, a huge like Snapchat, Instagram, following from a business side. It's more personal. I didn't which way to send that. So when he wrote it and I threw it up on Facebook, I mean, it's over a couple hundred likes and shares. So it's just like, wow, that's cool, you know?
The power of writing what you do and just your experience in your life.
Yeah. And taking that aspect and like utilizing a writing platform and then being able to put it in audio and then put it like, you know, obviously it's transcribed, but in future like speaks, put it in video, you know?
Exactly. And that leads into recording. So recording video, and I like to say to make your own reality show, literally your life, showing the world what you do because people buy into that. So what are some things you do for video, whether it's Snapchat, Insta stories, creating videos? What are some things you do in your business?
So it's probably like the one thing I haven't listened to like the strongest from the accelerator program because I have a Snapchat that's a lot more personal and like no filter. It's probably not something I would share conducive to like a client or somebody who,
So you don't want to share your Snapchat right now?
right? Like you can go on there and it'll make you laugh. It's really, you know, it's probably going to have nothing to do to reflect on like Roxy's business or how she can help your company. But that's the bittersweet side of it, because on my Instagram side, there's a huger following. Everything's a branded content. If you were to go there, it's like my digital business card, and you would be able to see, okay, this is how she looks. This is how I could use her. This is who she knows. This is the conversations that she has. Because I mean, that's the point of social media. I mean, is to carry on, you know, conversation and have interaction. So that's where my most like of my business interaction is. And then my like personal, like friends following. And it's great because on Snapchat, I'll just say like where I'm going for the day and people will show up because they checked my Snapchat. So
well, isn't it crazy? You can have the maps now so people can literally see where you're at, which is kind of creepy.
I've been on ghost mode a lot. So unless I'm working at like an event for somebody or want people to show up at places, I'll just keep ghost mode on. Because then we'll actually see like if I'm at home a lot. I'm like, I'm not.
Well, let's stay in the ghost mode. Let's go to A for audio and like speaking. So you said you're not podcasting, but what have you been on podcast shows?
You are my first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boom. After this show, you're gonna go on so many more because you're a natural.
I appreciate that so much, and I look forward to it. From an audio standpoint, guest speaking engagements I'm really great at. I mean, like I was doing it. I was hopping stages to stages all around the country for different schools and salons and hair shows. But I mean, even since the accelerator, Bernard hired me for a guest speaking engagement in San Diego when we've never even met, and he wasn't even here. So just like the power of that and like the trust that he had in me for somebody to fill in for him, one, and two, last minute, and then three, I showed up, you know, so it's just amazing.
Isn't it the power of the trust though too? Because again, when we pick people to go through the accelerator, I don't just let anybody in, and you can trust everybody. You're like a group of a family almost. Live and grind, baby. We got the shirt on.
And like I didn't know on the shirt you actually had your initials on it.
BTA.
I'm proud of you for that. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Okay, so you're speaking, you're doing some speaking engagements. Let's go into the next step, which is networking. This is probably the thing that you were just the most badass at it. Like, what are some things you do to network and to be able to build some relationships and connect with people for business?
Well, when it comes to talent management and acquisition and industry, it's so crazy. Like I got hit up by the beat instrumental like person from a 4th of July party from last year. And so the seeds that you plant that you have no idea that you're planting at the time, just by being your genuine true self, end up sprouting a year later and give you, you know, XYZ% of that company and affiliate. So it's like all I was doing was at a barbecue and saying hi to the right people. And I don't think it's right or wrong to say hi to anybody, but basically it was just the right place, the right time. And that was my networking. Like I show up to places when it's when it's like a entertainment side, whether it's music or whether there's a golf tournament or a charity. Like these are places that I go either because I'm invited or because I'm working them or because there's a vendor or somebody there that I've got to go, try and get to another event. So a lot of times it's, even if you don't want to go, you go. And even if you have 5 minutes to show up and say hi and bye, like you make the most of those 5 minutes. So when it comes to networking, it's like, if I'm on my way to a place, I try and at least make 2 or 3 things happen in that, transport that like are going to be the most effective because I want to, maximize my time.
So what is one time where you literally like you saw an opportunity, you got on a plane to go to an event or go to be in a room with somebody just to be there to network?
Probably like the most recent one was okay, so there's a huge festival in San Diego called Cross Festival. It's like a mini Coachella. And last minute after party, an artist was supposed to play at Sports Arena and didn't sell enough tickets. The production company didn't sell enough tickets. So they were like, last minute, we need to go to this other venue that's not even open yet. Like it wasn't even to code. They had to open their doors. So I know the investor of that company. I'm at the doors with a line wrapped around the building and nobody knows what they're doing. Security's running around, their head cut off. And I'm like, I'm there I was trying just to have fun. And the most fun I had was just literally by being able to delegate. So it was like, all right, who's at the door? Okay, who's upstairs? Who's VIP? And I was able to just coordinate with not only like the servers, the bartenders, the guys running the door, the investor who, like, bless his heart, was just like, I don't know what's going on. All I know is there's hundreds of people wrapped around my building right now, and we need to make sure that they have a great time tonight. And that happened. And ever since that happened, now it's like anytime I go to that venue or talk about that venue or share that venue, I have so much ownership in it and like the mentality wise, but so much gratitude comes from that team and those people because they're like, wow, like Roxy was here from the beginning, when we didn't have our systems in line and we didn't know who was at our door. They didn't know that there were celebrities at their door. And I was the one like going, no. This is the guy from True Blood. This is the guy from, like, this is the actor. Like, you don't know this person, so, and being in situations like that where maybe I wasn't called to action, but I saw an opportunity where nobody was stepping up. And
you stepped up as a leader. You're a true leader.
Yeah. And I was like, let's do this. Like, I see that this venue is one of the most amazing venues in San Diego, but these guys don't know it yet. And let's show them that it is. And now, I mean, they're so successful and they're sold out shows. And now they call me and they're like, yo, when can we get, Cascade in? When can we get Tiesto in?
Love it. You are such a true leader and you're a badass. Like you just take action. You don't sit back and watch, you take action. That's a true leader. And some people would be like, what do I do?
Right.
You did it. So let's go into the last one. It's differentiate. What makes you different? Which one? You are a badass leader, but what do you think makes you different than everybody else for what you do?
I'm not so sure about that one other than the fact that I'll lock on, I've been told that I have a pit bull mentality from the company I worked with in Paul Mitchell. I mean, they just said that if it was anything that Roxy wanted to get done, that I wanted to do, it's that like I would literally lock on and just by any means necessary make sure it got done. So you give me a task, no matter how small or large the sum or the payoff, like if I'm passionate about it and I resonate with you on a core value level, that there's going to be a return for everybody in this, and even little for me, like I'm not thinking about me, I'm thinking about like the bigger picture. How can we affect millions as opposed to just like moments in time?
I love it. Where can people find you, Roxy?
You can find me online at hireroxy.com. It's a little splash page. You can book a meeting with me there, but it goes straight to my phone. So you've got me there. And then Instagram is just follow Roxy, ROXY. So I'm really glad I got that one because it's really simple.
And she's got some great pictures. She's always on different shoots or working with some cool projects. Like you are very interesting. You're doing some fun stuff. And it's just cool. I'm honored to say you went through the accelerator and we're friends and the things you're working on. I'm excited we'll collaborate in the future. But what do you want to share with the audience before you go? Any last words for them you want to share?
If I had a nickel for all the great decisions I made in the last year, I would have two. And it was because I joined the accelerator and I worked on my fitness.
Yes, I love it, Roxy. Thank you so much, Roxy, for coming on the show. For everybody listening, hey, follow this girl. Seriously, she knows her stuff. I've known her for a couple years now. She is a badass entrepreneur doing some cool things, and she definitely differentiates herself, and she can network like no other. So, you know what time it is? It is time to go out there, create something great, and become unforgettable because life is too short not to. I'm Brennan C. Adams. Have a great day, everyone.
You're such a baller.